and welcome to another Bitcoin Brief with me, Anders, your host. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the 317 people who have copied my portfolio on eToro US. The way that eToro works is you can either trade yourself or you can choose to copy an investor like me or others where my performance is publicly available. People can see how has it gone this year, last year, every single month. So thank you, 317 copier, all of you, for your support. In total, I now have $242,000 under management, with which I am trading the Bitcoin halving price cycle. Thank you so much for your confidence. I will work hard. I am working hard to give you an amazing return on that. And already we are up more than 50% since New Year. That itself is not difficult when you're copying or trading Bitcoin. So even though we are up nicely this year, the main growth is ahead of us, I'm certain of. Of course, this is all my personal opinion. It is not financial advice to you. You should always do your own research and make your own decisions for which you're also responsible. But if we're looking at the previous Bitcoin bull runs that happened after the halving, which reduces the inflation rate in percentage of Bitcoin, which every single time creates this bull run when the inflation rate goes down, it never has failed to generate a bull run. And therefore, I expect that we'll have from here until approximately 1.5 years from now. I think Q1 2022 is the most likely. I expect that Bitcoin will rise from this $11,000 area to minimum 100,000. In fact, I think it's more likely it will go above 200,000, but that remains to be seen. So this great potential for return in Bitcoin is available if you invest directly in Bitcoin. No different than if you copy me at this stage of the cycle. I'm 100% exposed to Bitcoin, and throughout the bull run, I will usually be exposed 95 to 100%, depending on whether I feel that it's getting overheated and overbought. But I have analyzed the previous bull runs in Bitcoin and the previous bear markets, and there is a pretty clear pattern. A lot of people are saying right now that this bull run will take 18 months, like the last one. And I was saying that as well until around March or something, but it kept bothering me that the bull runs haven't taken the same amount of time. Last time was 18 months. The previous bull run was only 12 months, so 1 year instead of 1.5 years. And we also had bull runs back before there even was a halving. And all this didn't really make sense. It was something I kept thinking about, analyzing and trying to get a grip of that. And I feel, well, thinking through it, running numbers, looking at Bitcoin's inflation rate, I realized that it's not only the inflation rate of Bitcoin, it's the inflation rate in percentage. And even though every 4 years, the inflation rate as such, the amount of Bitcoin is cut in half, because Bitcoin came off with a circulation of 0 in early January 2009, then the drop in inflation rate was actually faster in the beginning. It was extremely high, the inflation rate. Imagine After 10 minutes, there was 50 Bitcoin in circulation. But the next 1 year, the new supply coming was it 2.25 million? So that inflation rate was in the hundreds and thousands of percent. So it's important to take into account what is the existing circulating supply of Bitcoin at the moment. And since that increases every time, there is a block on average every 10 minutes, then with the same issuance, that same issuance actually becomes less compared to that circulating supply that goes a little bit up every time with every block. And that is the reason I strongly believe that we actually did have bull runs and bear markets back even before the mining reward was cut from 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes to 25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes, because the inflation rate kept falling and really fast back then. Now, the reason that the last bull run took longer time was because the inflation rate between the first halving and the second halving was cut to a third. But from the first, like coming off zero, the inflation rate went from pretty much infinity and was cut to 12.5%. So it fell a lot faster in the beginning. So, and that's why we even had the bull runs before the first halving. And that's why, because the thing that pressures the price of Bitcoin up is the speed at which the inflation rate in percentage is dropping, then that first halving bull run took 12 months. The second one, which is the last one, which took 1.5 years, only had, that had its inflation rate cut to a third. But between 2016 halving to 2020 halving that we just had 11th of May this year, the inflation rate wasn't cut to a third, it was cut by a factor of 2.33. So yes, the inflation rate is dropping. It's also dropping more than a factor of 2, but not as fast as the first, the previous halvings. So that's why I expect that, because this downward pressure on the inflation rate is significantly smaller, it's still large, but it is smaller than previously. I don't think we can just say, oh, it took 18 months last time, that's why it will take 18 months this time. No, it will happen slower, I think, depending, of course, still external factors play in, money printing plays in, how much and how fast they are diluting and destroying the fiat currencies, which in US is the dollar. Anyways, so the last halving top was $20,000, which happened in, I think it was 17th of December 2017. 1 year later, December 2018, the bottom of the bear market was $3,100. So pretty much the price had a fall of 85%, which is a lot, but not as much as earlier, where even bear markets created a 95% correction, drop in value at one occasion. So there might not be as big a difference between these numbers going forward. The price tends to stabilize a little bit more. The market is maturing a little bit more. But there's still, in my opinion, is still going to be a big difference between the bull market top and the bear market bottom. And of course, you can't necessarily, no one can sell at 20,000 and buy at 3,100. That's not, no one is that lucky, and different things play in. Which day is it gonna be? What's the exact timing? Is there any events that creates that trigger that all of a sudden supply is bigger than demand, or what's the situation? But still, so to explain the strategy that I'm using here for trading the Bitcoin halving price cycle on eToro is, I aim to do something that would be similar to, sell a Bitcoin at $15,000 in the last bull run, buy it back at 7,500. Let's say that it would be possible to get the timing right to that extent. That is still a doubling of the amount of Bitcoin you have. Now, it's important to say that majority of my own investment, I do just hold it for the long term. It's packed away. It's even on another continent, because I am from another continent, so I don't have any chance to get my hands on it. But still, that is the strategy, that with a portion of my Bitcoin investment, I'm trading this halving cycle because I would like to increase the amount of Bitcoin that I have. I'm not day trading. I know that I am not good at day trading. It's not something that I would succeed at. What I think short term is really, really difficult to predict. I feel that when you look at something like medium term, which is this halving cycle, Bitcoin becomes a lot easier to predict. But let's see in this coming bull run and potential bear market. So the one danger, you could say, with this strategy, the only one that I can see, now this is all given that you already like Bitcoin and that you believe in Bitcoin. The one danger there is what if there is no more bear market? What if we get to 200,000? I will be taking profit there to make this trade. But what if there is no bear market? What if the dollar has been printed to such an extent that the dollar collapses, everyone loses faith in it, nobody wants to hold it. Foreign countries like China don't want to buy any bonds from US because they can see that it's losing value too fast. And in that scenario, you should still have some Bitcoin. And that's why I'm explaining that I'm trading, I'm doing this trade with a minority of my investment in Bitcoin. I believe it's a good idea to have a HODL position, as we call it, that you just keep for the long term. All right, so with those prices in mind, like I mentioned, right now we're at 11,000. I definitely expect to see 100,000 in around roughly 1.5 years. If Bitcoin reaches 100,000 in the next bull market top, that will be very conservative compared to the previous movements in Bitcoin that are created by the halving event. So that's why I'm saying I expect more that above 200,000 is likely than not going above 200,000, which then would make 20x from the current level. And then my strategy is to avoid that bear market. Now, these cycles of bull market and bear market have fascinated me since I was a kid. I bought my first stock when I was 12 years old. I sold it a few months later. I made money on it. Back then, stocks were like a piece of paper. And when you wanted dividends, you would cut out the dividend with a scissor, go hand it in the bank, and they would deposit the money on your bank account. But in '87, the stock market crashed. And then it recovered in 2000. It crashed from the .com, and it recovered in 2008. Again, there was a major crash, the housing crisis, and it recovered. So it's always fascinated me if you can get the timing right, or get close to getting the timing right, and sell at the top, buy at the bottom. That will not only give you that very nice long-term increase in asset prices, it will give you even more. And that's why I'm saying with a portion of my Bitcoin investment. I'm trading this halving cycle. I believe it is easy, but we'll have to see if history proves me wrong or right. What's important as the last thing here, ending up off, is never invest more than you can afford to lose in one single asset. Force majeure and freak of nature can always happen, and one asset could be at danger. So that's why people say not to have everything in one asset, but to spread it around. Personally, I would not touch any of the other so-called cryptocurrencies, but that is another subject. For me, diversification is Bitcoin. It's stocks like Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, potentially QQQ, which is a NASDAQ index fund. Those are all some that I like and have been exposed to the last couple of years, and those exposures have outperformed NASDAQ itself. Happy with that. But once again, first of all, this video was to thank you, 317 people who have allocated funds for me to invest for you. I appreciate the confidence, and I look forward to and hope I can make you a lot of money. That's what we're here for on eToro. One thing that is worth also noting is it doesn't cost any money to copy someone else. Nothing more than the normal trading fee that everyone have to pay, which I also have to pay when I make a trade. There's no fee on top of that you pay to copy someone. So I guess from eToro, it's a smart thing to really make that product better, because there's a lot of people, and I have also a lot of communication with a lot of copiers. I really appreciate that. Feel free to reach out anytime. I love talking Bitcoin. Bitcoin is my passion. So you're not taking up my time. I enjoy this. Yeah. What was my train of thought? Yeah, so it doesn't cost anything to copy anyone, but yeah, my point is, I guess that for eToro, it's a matter of they can make give a service to people that are not necessarily very experienced with trading. And the good thing here is you can go and see different people. You can see what is their trading strategy. You can see if you trust one strategy from another strategy. And then you can go look at the performance figures for each and every single month that the person has had an account on eToro. My account on eToro has been since October last year, and I am super thrilled that I now am the second most copied investor on eToro US. So thank you very much, guys, and let's hopefully go make a lot of money. Bye for now.